Hello everyone. Before jumping into the chapters, it's always good to understand some definitions, right? So this definition part in this video lecture is being divided into two parts. So definition one part will be covering audit, right? Auditing, audit objectives, AICPA functioning, FASB, that is Financial Accounting Standard Board, which issued the GAAP, right? And then the next one is GAAS, which is Government Accounting Standard Board. Third one we'll be covering is IASB, which is International Accounting Standard Board. After that, in this definition section, we'll be covering in detail about AICPA Code of Conduct, especially AICPA Code of Professional Conduct, right? Then after, we'll be discussing in detail about all the committees relating to the AICPA who are setting up the different kind of standards for the different services and attestation services which as a CPA we will be providing, right? Then after, we'll be covering a definition of IESBA, that is International Ethics Standard Board for Accountant. Lastly, in this video, we'll be covering applicable financial reporting framework. So these are some topics or the definition of subtopic we'll be covering in this video. Let's dive into.
Before getting deep into the audit of chapter 2, I thought first let's understand certain key terms. So that would be very important. So there are so many key terms which you should be, if you know it in advance, then it would be very easy for you to digest the entire audit section. So what I did here before getting into like core chapter, so I put every key terms or definitions in couple of pages, and I'll walk you through those terms, and wherever you have doubt we can spend some more time on that. But once you understand all these definitions and key term, then I'm telling you digesting the entire audit would be very easy for each one of you. So first thing is, what is auditing? I know some of you are already a qualified chartered accountant and semi-qualified chartered accountant, and you know and you have already worked in this auditing profession. But in a layman language, so audit is basically an independent examination of financial information. Like as a CPA, we'll be discussing and talking more about financial audit, like not on the non-financial audit or not on the operational audit side. So for us, what is more important is the financial statement and related account balances, right? So here as an audit, an auditor is audit is basically an independent examination of the financial information. So financial information would be your vouchers, would be your invoice, would be your purchase order, would be your sales order, would be your shipment, would be your accounting entry, would be your journal entry, would be your manual journal entry, would be your confirmations, and so on and so forth, right, of the respective entity, whether it's like profit oriented organization or not for profit organization, right, irrespective of like their size, whether it's like startup, mid-size or big one, or irrespective of like legal form, whether it's like sole proprietary, LLP, LLC, C Corp, S Corp, right? And that include like examination with the view to express the opinion. So why we conduct any audit? At the end, objective of the audit is to express an opinion, right? Second is objective, audit objective. Why we do audit? Like what is the purpose of conducting audit? Why any company need to conduct an audit? Why a CPA need to conduct an audit, right? What are the key purpose and objective of doing an audit? So audit objective is to express an opinion. Opinion on what, right? Opinion on the fairness in all material respect with which the financial statement presenting the financial position. Financial position mean balance sheet, like result of operation mean income statement. Cash flow is cash flow statement and the related notes to accounts in conformity with the applicable financial reporting framework. Applicable financial reporting framework, what are those? Like US GAAP, IFRS, special purpose reporting framework, right? We discussed. So that's the key objective of doing an audit, right? So now here we we discuss about, we know like AICPA. So here we'll be understanding what AICPA do actually, right? So in this section, if you see, like AICPA has like 4 service line and 4 verticals. And the respective vertical do what all things, that's what we will be understanding here. If you see the first one, they have authoritative bodies. In authoritative bodies, which include FASB, who issue the GAAP, US GAAP, right? Then they have GAASB, which is Government Accounting Standard Board, and they issue the audit accounting standard for the governmental entity, right? And then we have IASB, which is International Accounting Standard Board, which issue IFRS. So here in the IFRS, they have SB, which is an independent body, but AICPA also have authoritative body which work together with the IASB in developing the IFRS or converting the US GAAP in line with IFRS, right? Next one is AICPA Code of Professional Conduct. So there is a separate committee which you can say promulgate or which draft the professional code of conduct for the CPA. They issue the guidance and rules for the CPA, right? They issue principles of professional conduct. They issue code of conduct and code of ethics for the CPA, right? That's a separate wing they have in AICPA, right? Same way in your organization, if you see, there's a separate department for the HR, separate department for the operations, separate department for the sales team, separate department for you can say finance team, right? Same way in AICPA, these all are different verticals who do the respective work for the AICPA. Next one is AICPA Committee and Boards. So they have so many committees and board. If you see, first one is ARSC, which is Accounting and Review Service Committee. They issue SARs. SARs are basically statement on standard for accounting and review services. That means when as a CPA, you'll be performing review engagement, you need to follow SARs, right? And these SARs are being issued by the Accounting and Review Service Committee of the AICPA, right? And these are majorly for the non-issuer, because for the issuer, it comes from SEC. Make sense? So far, so good?
Yep. Just one thing, issuer and non-issuer, like
yeah, we are coming to that definition. But in layman, issuer are listed company, non-issuer are private company.
got that.
Okay. Second one is Auditing Standard Board. In short, we call ASB. They issue the GAAS, which is Generally Accepted Auditing Standard. GAAP are Generally Accepted Accounting Principle. GAAS are Generally Accepted Auditing Standard. So ASB issue the auditing standard, which we need to follow when we are doing the audit of non-issuer, that is private company, or the government audits, right? ASB issue the auditing standard for the non-issuer and for the government company. For the issuer, it comes from the SEC, right? Third one is Management Consulting Service Executive Committee. So they issue the statement of standard for the consulting service. Consulting service like your accounting advisory service, your payroll management services if you are giving, right? Or maybe you are giving any consultation on merger, acquisition. So those, when you are providing those kind of services, you need to follow, as an CPA, we need to follow these standard on consulting services, right? Next one is Attestation Standard Board. So they issue SSAEs. SSAEs are Statement on Standard for Attestation Engagement. Like when you're performing examination, when you're performing agreed upon procedure, you need to follow SSAEs, right? Then in addition to that, they have Tax Executive Committee. When you are providing tax consulting services, you need to follow their rules. They have Forensic Valuation Services Executive Committee. If you are doing valuation work, then you'd be following those standards. They have Personal Financial Planning. So if you are giving like financial planning, wealth management, asset management services to your client, then you need to follow those rules and regulations. And they have Executive Committee as well. So for us, the important one is ASB and ARSC and the attestation standard book. So these three are important for us in the audit section of the exam. Rest all is good for your knowledge, right? And then last wing is monitoring, enforcement, compliance wing, right? They ensure the CPA, whether you are in job, you are an educator, or you are in practice, are you following the AICPA rules and regulations, AICPA Code of Professional Conduct? Like every year you need to have, like once you are qualified CPA, every year you need to have at least 20 CPA credit, right? Same way, like some of you are chartered accountant, I'm sure you are already aware of, like every year after the qualification to maintain the membership, you need to do certain hours of your upskilling of yourself, right? For your accounting, auditing, taxation, whatsoever related area you can choose for. That's completely freedom given to you, but at least 20 hours each year, same way you need to spend on yourself, on your learning, to upgrade your learning in the respective area of domain you are working, right? So they monitor those all stuff, right? So this is all about AICPA, what AICPA actually do. Any doubt here? Or anything need more clarification?
No.
Good. Okay, so next one, we are jumping into AICPA Code of Professional Conduct. So this one is very important for a CPA. So we all should be very much aware of AICPA Code of Professional Conduct, because we, throughout our rest of life, once we become CPA, we need to adhere to AICPA Code of Professional Conduct. So this AICPA Code of Professional Conduct, so we'll be learning in detail, don't worry. So we'll be learning here, and we'll be learning in regulation section of your exam also in detail. But here, I'm just giving you overview what is AICPA Code of Professional Conduct. So AICPA Code of Professional Conduct give you the guidance and rules for all the member for their professional responsibility, right? So member, whether you are in public practice, whether you are a government employee, you are working in industry, or you are an educator like me. So you all need to follow and adhere to the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct, right? Next is Code of Ethics. So Code of Ethics, like every profession, has to be abide by the Code of Ethics issued by the respective body for which he or she is a member. Right? Whether you are a member of AICPA, whether you are a member of IMA, whether you are a member of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, or whether you are a member of any other professional body like lawyer or doctor, or you can say any other valuer, or you can say there are so many like profession in the world, right? So if you are member of any professional body, so it's been your responsibility to adhere to the Code of Ethics standard of those respective body. Same way, being a CPA, we all need to follow the Code of Ethics, right? So what is Code of Ethics? These are like statement of ethical principle governing the acceptable or unacceptable behavior of the member. So they give you the guidelines of do's and more importantly don'ts, right? And these shared value become a standard and are even recognized by the people outside the company. So if in the word you go and say yourself, I'm a CPA, so word have certain expectation. Each member in the society have certain expectation of on the kind of behavior you will be adhering to. That means you will be behaving with the integrity. You'll be behaving with the independence. You'll be behaving with the objectivity. So whatever the act you'll be doing with the due care, right? So once you say to the word that I am a CPA, like CPA Ayush and CPA Kashish, CPA Rajat. So when you go to the word and say like I'm a CPA, so word accept that you have certain responsibility and you will be meeting certain boxes in their minds, right? At least the boxes or check the boxes would be behaving ethically, working with integrity and objectivity, right? At least those things they have in mind. So you need to adhere to those rules and regulation so that like AICPA image should not be damaged because of you, right? They outline expected behavior and how organization relates to its stockholders. So code of ethics are more of laying down of do's and don'ts for the members, right? These are majorly like soft behavior of the members, how it should be, right? Next one is international ethics standard boards for accountant. So we have AICPA, for which we need to adhere to their code of conduct as well as code of ethics. But sometime when you are performing an international assignment, right? For example, you are auditing for a company who is in US, but they have major subsidiary in Europe, and in Europe they follow IFRS and they follow, you can say, IASB standard for code of ethics and code of conduct. Then when you are performing for subsidiary of your client who is in Europe, then you need to adhere to the International Ethics Standard Board of Accountant rules, which is like ethics and professional code of conduct. So these generally more or less are same, but you just need to keep in mind that you need to adhere to those as well, right? This is not very much important for your examination, but when you do the practice, these things are very much relevant for you, right? Next is principle of professional conduct and ethics. So we were discussing about code of conduct, code of ethics, but what those code of conduct and code of ethics expect from you? And these are very much common for AICPA code of conduct, code of ethics, PCAOB code of conduct or code of ethics, GAAS, governmental accounting standard, auditing standard code of conduct or code of ethics, and even though this ASB, right, which is International Ethics Standard Board of Accounting. So here this is like as an CPA, we should know our responsibility, right? Second, we should not break the public interest. We are, you can say like how police department is there to protect the general public from the violation, from the wrongdo, from the theft, from the illegal activity. Same way, we need to protect the interest of the public who are investing, right? Who are investing in security, who are investing in the public companies, and at the same time, who are trusting on the financial statement which we have signed. Whether it's a sole proprietorship, whether it's LLP, LLC, partnership firm, or maybe like any bank, NBFC, or maybe any big giant company, right? So in market, CPA signature has a great value. Why? They have maintained and they are able to maintain that great value of the CPA signature because of public interest is being protected by all those CPA who are in practice. Same thing you also need to keep in mind once you qualified the CPA, right? Or even though from right now onward, you need to keep in mind public interest to be protected. For example, some of you are already working in a CPA firm, right? So here, like what all things, whether you are in tax profession, whether you are in audit profession, whether you are in risk management or advisory profession, you all need to keep in mind whatsoever the work you are doing, public is going to rely on, right? Whatsoever the opinion you are sharing, whatsoever the advice you are sharing, whatsoever the consultation you are sharing, and whatsoever the balance sheet, income statement, or tax returns you are signing up, the public is trusting on you. So you have a bigger responsibility toward the public to protect their interest. And how you can protect your the interest of the public? By doing the right thing only, right? By giving the due care of the work you are doing, by ensuring that you are working with the integrity and objectivity, and you are evaluating the respective evidence before signing up on anything, right? So that's the more responsibility on your shoulders now. right? And now you are already aware of, so you should carry this responsibility from now onward, right? Next one is like integrity. So more important for any CPA is to work with integrity. That means if someone is bribing you, you should not be cheating the world, right? I know like some small size firm or very small size firm or maybe individual practitioner sometimes do not adhere to this rules or does not work with integrity, but AICPA have like penal provision against them, and they are extremely severe because they do not tolerate anything negative on their image, right?